Tonight, from Detroit City Fieldhouse in Detroit, Michigan, it's MASLW action with Indiana United FC taking on Detroit City FC. Welcome to Soccer Night in Detroit. Mad Cat here with Steve, getting ready for another
indoor women's soccer game.
Yeah.
MASL women's game.
That's right. Tonight it is Detroit City's women taking on Indiana United FC once again.
Match 2 of 3.
And last week here at the Fieldhouse, Detroit City came away with a huge victory over Indiana United. Pretty much. Are you expecting the same thing tonight?
I'm hoping the same thing tonight. Hopefully, because like I said, we didn't do too much. They gave it their all last week, especially the I hate to say the PK that went way outside. I'm sorry, I don't want to embarrass her, but brother. Gabby Schneider, who are indoor and outdoor goal there, was up to the challenge. She was ready to take that on. I presume she was relieved when it went. Ugh.
She breathed a huge sigh of relief after
literally, like, hey, all that worry stuff, but you never know with these penalty kicks. I saw a couple of penalty kick shootouts in the FA Cup this morning. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It always comes down to PKs. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, especially with the FA Cup. Now, I don't know if they do. I don't think they do replays anymore.
I think they still do replays. Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm not sure. I know they don't do them in the EFL Cup, which is the Carbo Cup.
Oh, the Carbo Cup.
Yeah, I don't think they do the replays anymore as far as that goes.
The EFL Cup is only for the lower division, lower than the Premier League. Your Championship, League 1, League 2, and
it's basically the English professional teams that participate in that competition,
including my favorite, Colchester United.
And America's team, Wrexham FC.
Wrexham FC. Oh yeah, because of Welcome to Roxbury on FX, owned by Ryan Reynolds.
Everybody, I was going to say most of the popular teams are in the Premier League anyway. So, as
always, cheers for tonight. I bought drinks.
All right.
Thank you again. You're two-handed. Cheers.
Thank you again.
You're two-handed. You can't drink it right there. Don't put it near the iPod.
I'm good. I'm good.
Oh, you're good. Thank you.
Yeah, everything's good. In fact, we're grounded here.
By the way, got the Rock and Rye, Neil Rule favorite drink, our announcer. And by the way, the Northern Guard reposted the now infamous Nutmeg News article of Neil and John, who's the color analyst for the DCFC broadcast, are proud the game, which is better, Red Cup or Rock and Rye? Red Cup, Rock and Rye.
Favorite flavor here, firework. As a matter of fact,
firework. You mean the icicle inspired candy?
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Okay. Well, it's like a bomb pop, but it's it has a nice little citrusy flavor. Tastes like this. It really almost tastes like a squirt.
I used to remember that drink of the bomb pop long time ago.
And like I said, it almost tastes like a squirt.
Oh yes.
You could almost I mean, you could probably add it to some type of alcoholic beverage if you feel like.
I don't drink alcohol. So. Not me. But let's get back to the game before falling down to a further rabbit hole. When you, considering that this whole season has been, well, like I said, truncated before the rescheduling like that, originally the schedule was 4 games against Kalamazoo, 3 against Indiana United, and the Iowa Demon Hogs. Is it kind of wear down? You see the same opponent, and I don't blame the ladies because one team dropped and all like that.
I'm just thinking, with the way the schedule is worked out and all that stuff, all the familiarity that you're seeing with one opponent. In fact, next week we'll be taking on Kalamazoo FC or Kalamazoo United FC one more time.
Oh yes.
Before heading out to Iowa to take on the Demon Hawks for a weekend excursion at the end of the month, but. The familiarity, obviously, I mean, it does good to a point, but personally, I would rather see a different opponent down the road. But I prefer different opponents. I mean, if I was a coach, and I'd say I'd rather see a different opponent anyway. But either way, the girls are going to play whoever comes out on the pitch.
It's just sort of like Burt Reynolds asking, "Okay, let me face on somebody in the big Barnhart Ball in the end of Cannonball Run 1." But
let me hit someone.
I know, and also, and not only this, it's common for teams that do home to home. They play one game at home next night or the night before, the day after. You see this a lot in Major League Baseball. They have to play a series of 3 or 4 or 5 games, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you'll see it rarely in NFL football if it means after the season. But like I said, sometimes it will get,
travel and expense plays into it a lot as well because, I mean, you can't really say have Iowa come in here on a Friday night or Saturday night and then have to travel down to Davenport the next day.
The next day, yeah.
You're talking like expenditures and all that stuff, so that it delves into that frame as well. So
and you see the more successful lower league like the League 2, which is sort of like, and the NPSL, our old league we already started. It's all regionalized, so you don't have to.
I mean, basically, this is a regional league, even though the teams are so far based when you think about it. I mean, the closest team obviously is Kalamazoo.
Yes.
We would have had West Shore Ambition had they had stayed, and that was another hour, maybe another 45 minutes to an hour away.
Oh, yes.
So the proximities to all the different types of venues that we have to go to. But there is one central venue for the championship that will be taking place down in Davenport, Iowa, and that will be, I believe, at the end of March.
End of March, as we get ramped up for Soccer Night in Detroit, or Soccer Night coming soon, 28 days away.
And
by the way, 42 days for the home opener.
And the men had to travel down to Lexington this week.
For Lexington, Kentucky.
For a couple of games in the or a couple of preseason friendlies that took place. On Wednesday, as you know, Detroit City will have a big 8-0 victory over Georgetown College today.
And the first goal was an assist from the player we signed last week, which was announced. And I gotta say, I feel good.
Yes, Jay Chapman, as a matter of fact.
Yes.
A guy that has been, let's just say, well-traveled, shall we say.
Oh, are you talking about the player announcement?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
All right,
yeah. So Jay Chapman comes into the fold for Detroit City. He signed a 1-year deal with the club. Your thoughts on Jay?
Jay Chapman, he's been a journeyman midfielder. I'm just trying to find the announcement. Mm-hmm. There it is. Jay Chapman, originally from Brampton, Ontario.
Played with Toronto FC organization. He also he had some USL 2 or USL experience with Toronto FC 2.
Uh-huh.
A couple of years. So, I mean, he's
And last year he played with Hartford Glug and then with Charlottesville.
Charleston.
I can't get the. I'm thinking of Charlotte, North Carolina. I forgot about Charlottesville. If you remember, about 40 years ago, it was the setting of the movie that scared the living daylight out of Charlottesville. Remember Breaking Report, where nuclear? Yeah,
I don't know. I don't remember that one. It might have been Charleston, South Carolina.
Carolina.
Breaking Report or whatever that was.
Yeah, Special Report. I remember that.
Report
and literally. It was the NBC movie week. It was a recreation of what happened. It was the movie that scared the living shirt out of that town.
There was a movie prior to that. It was an ABC movie of the week called. I think it was called The Day After. Or
I remember that one. That scared the living jail out of me. I never want to see that movie again. Although I've seen Special Report a few times on syndicated television with the disclaimer. This is not actual real. This is a dramatization.
I think you can find it on YouTube too.
You could. I have found it on YouTube. Yeah. You can watch it.
You're right. I've seen it on the on my feed sometimes. Yes. Also, but like I said, going back to Jay Chapman, of course.
Let's go back to Jay Chapman. Yeah.
Jay Chapman scored a goal last year for Hartford Athletic early on in the season, and then, as I mentioned, he was loaned out to Charleston Battery to help them on their cup run. Or not their cup run, but their the USL USL Championship run.
Yes.
Which took them to the Eastern Conference Finals, where
Before
they
fell to Rhode Island.
Yes. But Chapman, defensive midfielder, and that midfield is holding up.
Yeah, you're right. Well, like I said, 170 appearances in U.S. Most of them in split between USL and MLS, the other leg, as I like to say it.
Yep. He has some MLS experience with Toronto FC.
Toronto FC,
and he also I'm trying to think what I was going to say. There was one other team he also played with in the USL Championship more recently, as a matter of fact. I think it was Colorado Springs, I believe.
Springs, yeah, the defending champions. Yeah,
and he played a spell there the season prior to moving over to Hartford. He comes in on a 1-year deal, and he joins the boys at in Lexington for the friendlies today. Speaking of friendlies, the other friendly that occurred this afternoon saw Detroit City FC take on a newcomer to the USL Championship, Lexington SC.
Lexington FC, yes. That game happened early in the afternoon. They lost on a late corner kick. We don't have any highlights because, like I said, most of these exhibition games that you're going to hear are closed sessions. Nobody knows. We
actually got a lineup of who was participating in the friendly this afternoon, and on the starting lineup, it had an unnamed forward on there. So
what the hell? The unnamed forward? There are a team, and is he a trialist or something?
We don't know if he's a trialist or if he's a signee.
Which, by the way, not announced. I was just thinking maybe he's not announced as a new player.
Yep.
He's a forward.
Yep.
And the DCFC like to sneak up saying we have a new signing.
A lot of it has to do with USSF
rules of announcing.
Rules as far as announcing players and whatnot. It seems he's been cleared to play medically. So until they can get official announcement, and I'm sure we'll come down the line and we'll announce it right here on Saturday in Detroit.
Yes, and the soccer professor, what's his name, who we got from Hartford last year. Oh, the name escaped me. Oh, yes. He had that popular YouTube series.
Oh, Matt Shelton.
I saw a long video about the process. You know what I mean? He was a member of Hartford Athletic FC. He was settling down at his new home, which he had for 2 weeks. And then your rights have been transferred to Detroit. And I was thinking of that scene, take him to Detroit. No, not Detroit. No, Detroit. But yeah, behind the scenes that you have to get a lot of approval. First from the USLC, then the U.S. Soccer Federation, then the team that you're being transferred out. Hartford, they also have to agree on it. Detroit team. And when all that is agreed, bang, announcement.
So I'm sure, we'll be looking for an announcement sometime soon. We were expecting possibly a couple announcements down the line. I talked with Tiffany
James.
Yep, on Saturday night, and she said look for a couple of announcements. This might be the second announcement, so stay tuned.
Stay tuned, as they say. Let's look at the starting 11. We have some that most of the players played most of the game, and other players were dropped out. Here was the starting lineup. On forward, Darren Smith, Ben Morris. Darren Smith scored 2 goals. I was right on Saturday on Wednesday. I gotta say, I was correct. I told you last week, and I don't want to say I told you so. I said Darren Smith.
I was told.
I said Darren Smith will be a kind of like a spark plug for this offense. I said it, and I still keeping my word. Now, remember, this is an exhibition just like every other pro sports league in America. The exhibition season means absolutely nothing.
3 meaningless exhibitions coming up this week for Detroit City FC. On the men's side, first one taking place on Thursday, and that's the next opponent, Barcelona Academy, the under-19s of that squad. And then they're going to be playing a couple colleges coming up, one next Saturday and the other one coming up on the weekend here. I'm trying to pull those up as I...
Let me mention the other player that was in that exhibition today. Harky Yakubisu, who just signed last week, midfielder. Marco Poloski, midfielder. Daniel Aiko, midfielder. And on defense, Reese Williams, Shane Wentz, Matt Shelton, and the captain. Oh shoot, my brain is a little bugged. Oh, Connor Ross. Yeah, Connor Ross. Yes, the captain, right?
Yep.
He was a substitute. You know what I mean? So yeah. And Carlos Santoro, he's getting his rep in for his first full season of the new number one. Yes. The new number one.
So the two opponents that they'll be taking. Going against, as well as the Barcelona Academy, are Pina Community College and Phoenix Community College. So,
and that's in Arizona, right? For the airport. No USL team.
No USL teams.
Yes.
But I'm sure this is a schedule. This is like coming up. It depends on what venues you can use. I'm sure there might be an Oakland friendly in there somewhere.
Usually, and maybe a keyword friendly. And by the way,
maybe not a keyword friendly so much as maybe at another location, maybe Total Velocity would probably be. Wayne State could be a possibility as well, depending on location and weather and whatnot.
And just to let everybody know, these are closed sessions.
Yes.
They're practicing. So when you announce that they're doing a practice session, exhibition match at one of those locations, please don't come. It's just that. It's a closed session. That's it.
Yep. Yeah. All it is that's pretty much it. I mean, what it means is no tickets are going to be sold for this event. So that's basically what.
And
what
also,
that
I want
means.
to mention that the reason why for the exhibition season, although it doesn't mean anything, is just to get ready, ramp up for the season ahead, which is in a month.
Yeah. Less than a month. Well, less than a month now because March. Almost less than a month because March 8th fastly approaching here.
And we're going to play Miami FC at and I'm not making this up, this is the official full name of their stadium, the South Day Kia Field at Pitbull Stadium.
I'm glad Keyworth is not sponsored. I'm just leaving it at that.
It would be called White Stripes Field. Who knows? But hey, that's going to be a good feature segment about if
Polish Muslim Field would be good too, But I don't think they would have that type of money to put that in.
Well, yeah,
and it's owned by the school.
It's owned by the school district, and as you probably know, Pitbull could get away with put his money. Sponsor a naming right stadium and all that.
You think Eminem would get away with something like that?
I don't think so. No. Maybe, but if there was a Pacific Northwest team, by the way, it would be called Slater Kinney Field. My favorite rock band.
Musical artists sponsoring sports venues.
The
newest trend of 2024.
We'll hold that until March the 8th, before us against Miami FC. Yeah,
probably one of the coolest names in sports. Yeah. But let's go to some coaching news.
Oh, big time coaching news.
It's not. When you think of coaching news, and I said this on TikTok the other day, we don't really announce them unless it's a major, as far as the club goes and whatnot.
Head coach, assistant coach.
Yeah, and we were going to discuss that. We felt like there was just so many that's been going on in the USL Championship as of late.
About a third of the team have changed coaches and a couple of big ones, but we scrapped that because as the season goes along, we'll tell you
exactly
who's going to be.
It'd probably take like a 20-minute segment.
It would be a 20-minute segment, but we're just trying to keep it between 30 and 40. So,
right, exactly.
Right.
So but big news as far as that goes because it's another Detroit City player that has gotten a coaching position, and that is Alyssa Barron. She is now the sports performance coach on the men's side. She worked with the team last year, late in the season, as far as drills and other training responsibilities as well. So she is now officially named the sports performance coach for Detroit City SC. And great move. To keep her in the organization.
Yes, it's a really great move. You've probably seen her in the outdoor game and mostly in the indoor game. For those people who are foreign, don't understand much about behind-the-scenes sports next to the coach, assistant coach, or manager, what do a sports performance coach do, by the way?
Basically, it has to do with training and conditioning for the team, and they're out there and they're helping the players to helping develop the players for match day fitness and whatnot.
Go by week because, like I said, after you run 90 full minutes or 45 or 60 or 75, and you're gassed and get subbed out, it takes a long time to recover from that.
Oh yeah, absolutely with that, and she's had experience with this as well. And going back to that as going back here, so yeah, she's had experience with that as well over at Michigan State University, I do believe. As it's coming up rather slowly right now. The internet is just
the internet. Hello,
the internet at this place. There we go. So she began her career at Michigan State in 2019 and worked as a graduate assistant in Olympic sports. She earned a master's degree in strength and conditioning from Michigan State, where she was transitioned and working with the men's and women's basketball teams for Michigan State. She was an assistant strength and conditioning coach at Oakland University from December of 2021 to 2023. Then returned back to Michigan State. Her final role in East Lansing saw her work as the assistant director of athletic performance. So this is she knows her.
Oh yeah, stuff. She knows her stuff. You know what I mean? And you're gonna have to deal with the players who need the refresh for the next week, especially when we get to a midweek game.
Not to mention helping them out as far as recovering from injury.
Injury, yeah.
We've had, we still have players that are still recovering from last year's injuries. Lejo being one of them. The sports hernia that pretty much did not, limited them to not playing in that playoff game against Tampa Bay last year.
Right.
So, it's going to help. Definitely help that, and it's more of, in a sense, conditioning, physical training and all that stuff. So it's very helpful there. And congratulations to her second.
Congratulations, yeah.
Second Detroit City alum to gain a coaching spot. As you know, last week we mentioned Brad Dunwell getting the job as head coach of the UPSL Detroit City FC2 side.
I know.
And you know what? There's a future for these people after the game, which is a good thing.
It's understandable. You saw Dan Campbell. He was I don't want to switch sports from soccer to football. You saw Dan Campbell after his playing career. He got into coaching in the pro level, and he went all the way up until he got his big dig in Detroit. We all thought it wasn't going to work and all that.
He was in Miami for a short spell, being an interim coach there.
Yes.
And now you see him now. He's probably one of the best teams in the
NFL. It's not over once you say, I'm done. They don't hang out with their wife and family. I'm going to be a legend. They want to contribute. And that's what it is. Contribute after your playing days are over. Teach the new generation of players.
That's right.
Teach the new generation. It's sort of like growing a tree.
Yes.
It's like growing a tree. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And how long that will last. That will lead you to success, or it's a long haul, but
it's still being part of the game, which is the bottom line, because you're even though you're not contributing actually on the pitch itself, you're out there behind the scenes helping the players out that are following you achieve success. So that's a good thing there.
And that is very important in today's game. It's not 1 versus 1 or team A against team B. I hope we beat team B or we lose team B in the last second. There's a lot behind that. Marketing the team, coaching the team. It's
even getting up as high. Some people going back to the NFL again, John Lynch getting a GM role, or Chris Spielman.
Yes.
Good example here, because he was the man that brought guys in like Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell into Detroit to turn that thing around over there.
It's a miracle.
Or Stevie Eiserman.
Steve Eiserman, same thing. Yeah. Or Joe Dumars.
Joe Dumars being another one as well. So you know,
and don't forget, don't forget a lot of players in baseball. Wade Boggs, he was head coach. Brad Hoffman, our former head coach of the Tigers, he was.
Or they can become soccer owners like Jose Batista.
Yes, Jose. In a different sport, I know.
But otherwise, we got as we said, we got a match here tonight. Mm-hmm. Indiana United FC 7:30 kickoff. You can catch that game right on the Detroit City FC YouTube channel.
Yes, with Dave Duende, the manager of the first Dave Duende.
Dave Duende,
the manager of the first team
on the call.
The legendary Mackey. And I don't know if you noticed it. Back to Lee Tafani. Dave Duende was supposed to say that. Well, we have that. Wait. Or no, not supposed to. It's kind of funny, man.
He scooped us all.
He scooped us all until Jared said, nope. And not only that, Jared, not only a great, his legend was born when he was in the NPSL and went to do YouTube live streaming of the Critical games back in the NPLS day. He built his legend now. Not only he's the announcer, he's the SID. Yep. You hear that a lot.
Special thanks to him as always for letting us do this thing every week, every week, and
he's a legend.
Between us and the majors and all that stuff, and thanks to him for helping us get information out there as well. So because it is hard to, especially being the fifth banana in town.
Get the majors
to get
who else
to get any coverage of Detroit City FC. I give a shout out obviously to the majors Detroit. Sean Spence, Words Without Shapes. I mean, he was the original as far as that goes, getting anything going for Detroit City FC content around here.
And it's kind of amazing to me that
the independents, like I said, the independents are what we try to do is try to bring you truthful information and try to bring you the best information that we can out there.
And I couldn't believe I'm doing this because, if you know me, I always say this could be a big game, this could be a tough game and all that. And now I'm part of it.
He's part of the fold, ladies and gentlemen.
I always tell you, this is true. I always wanted to be a broadcaster, being the next generation, like a Ray Lane or Eli Zaret or Al Ackerman or Dave Dial or the late great Don Shane and just recently Bernie Smilovich.
Retiring.
But I've been called Bernie a lot and Eli a lot when I was in middle school. But I thought I never do it because broadcast television is a little bit hard. But when you do it independently, you're not tied to. Well, we don't have time for it.
The only thing we're tied to right now is my YouTube channel. That's our YouTube. I should say our YouTube channel.
Our YouTube, yes.
Which, good segue there. Make sure you're liking and subscribing. Leave a comment if you can as well. Like and subscribe. Follow us throughout the season as far as we're trying to bring you the best content and that we can for Detroit City action.
One more thing before I go. Next week against Kalamazoo, I will not be here because I have another engagement across town. So
there is I believe it's a
roller derby championship game.
Yes, there is a flyer I noticed coming into the clubhouse there.
And the girls support the indoor soccer team, but it's on the same time as this indoor game. I'm going to be going to that next week. So if you ever seen the musings where Madcap always give the midweek review of everything breaking in midweek, he do a good job solo. You know what I mean? In his HQ, and I trying to get a new computer. Well, I could do my own YouTube channel. So
maybe we could if we can ever figure out Zoom, we can probably Zoom each other during the midweek or
so. So next week you're going to be solo. Yep. I'll be off, but I will be back in the last game. Yes.
We'll be together for after hours.
Post game
after the match, giving you all the highlights and hopefully get an interview or two down
the road
near the pitch as Detroit City takes on FC Indiana. Looks like it'll be hopefully a similar matchup than last week. That's what the synopsis. My synopsis would be, but
without an embarrassing penalty kick
at the end. So until we meet again, folks, keep your feet in the ground, keep reaching for the galaxy.
Bye bye.